Hey guys, today I have a review for you on a very popular book that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is the first Rainbow Rowell book I have had the pleasure of reading, and as I feel happens very often with her books, I have a lot to say. There's a lot of feels concerning this. But first, a short synopsis for those of you that don't know much about the novel. So it follows Kath. Kath is a fangirl. She loves the Simon Snow series, which is basically like a ripoff of Harry Potter. She's completely engrossed in the world. She's seen the movies, she's read the books, she has the shirts, the posters, and most importantly, she writes fan fiction concerning the main characters from the novels. Kath and her twin sister Ren are about to go off to university, and Kath wanted to room with her twin sister because that's where her comfort level lies. She's always lived with her sister. However, Ren is sort of breaking out of this mold and wants to room with somebody else. The two of them used to be big fangirls together, but Ren's changed a lot. So Kath has to start a new university with a new roommate, new classes, meeting a ton of new people, and for somebody who very obviously suffers from a level of social anxiety, this is hard, and you get to follow her journey through her first year of university to find out whether or not she can sort of survive, make friends, do well in school, while also kind of staying in touch with this fangirl side of her that defines her so much. When I finished this book, I had a lot of thoughts, so much so that I wrote them all down on a sticky note, front and back, the yay side and the nay side. The first thing that I really came to enjoy about this book was how realistic the characters were. The dialogue, what they were saying to each other, it just sounded like stuff I remembered experiencing during my first year living in a dorm at university, meeting all the new people, and also the range of personalities. There's so many different kinds of people out there. Those all exist in real life, and they were very well portrayed in this book. Additionally, the romance scenes were top-notch. And when I say romance, I don't mean like, ooh, sex scenes. I mean the way they flirted with each other, the way they didn't even realize they were flirting with each other, but they totally were. The first kiss, just all of those things, and how they play out in a university setting when you don't have to worry about your parents walking through the door. It's a whole different ballgame in university, and that was very well portrayed in this book. One of the biggest things that I think is a compliment to this book is that it actually ended up being way deeper than I thought it was. I figured it would be more light, contemporary. Hey, she's gone off to university and she's figuring out who she is, and yeah, she has some tough spots with potential romantic interests and hard classes, but there was actually a whole nother level to this book to do with Kath's parents that I had no idea was going to be so prominent in the book, and I think it was a real asset to the story. It made me sort of sit back and go, wow, damn, like this book is serious, like this book knows what's up. And just the way it portrayed certain issues with Kath's father and her mother, who is not really in the picture, and sort of the internal struggle Kath has with those things, I thought it was done so well. I thought it was done so well to the point where when Kath would go home for weekends from school, I was really looking forward to the scenes with her father. It added a whole new excellent depth to the story. Lastly, I love the university setting. I love the fact that this book doesn't take place in high school, which seems like so many books are. This is a phase of life that is much more recent for me, and just the relatability is so much higher, and that's just, and it opens up all these new doors for storytelling. Now I'm gonna ease into the sort of nay things, the things that I didn't like as much about the story. So most of them are pretty nitpicky because this was a very well written, strong, character-driven book, but there was one point that really stood above all the others that bothered me multiple times, and that was how pathetic Kath could be sometimes. I'm an introvert. I, don't really like put myself out there at parties. I'm okay with speaking in front of groups, but I still get nervous, that sort of thing. But I definitely don't have the level of social anxiety that Kath has in this book. And just her level of worry sometimes just made her seem so pathetic. She wouldn't stand up for herself. She would just constantly worry and wouldn't do anything. She'd just assume something and then stick with it. And that really bothered me because that's not me. And I was just like, Kath, come on, like snap out of it and just ask this one question that would solve all of your problems, or just call your sister or talk to your father and like really talk to him. It's just, oh God, it would make me so mad sometimes. Some people probably look at that and go, this is amazing. in terms of character writing because it is so realistic, but because that wouldn't be what I would choose to do, it made me mad. Like, I know it was great for the story because she did get better, but at the same time it was so maddening. This point could also be considered nitpicky, but at the same time, it really bothered me. The Simon Snow stories are obviously a ripoff of Harry Potter. The way it's described with the magical school, the main character who has a sidekick guy friend and a sidekick girlfriend, you know, like Ron and Hermione. They even reference in the book for the 4th Simon Snow movie that their hair is too long. That is the case with Goblet of Fire for Harry Potter. Their hair is too long in that movie. But then they reference Harry Potter in the book, and I was just like, hold up. Simon Snow would not exist if Harry Potter existed. It is obvious to me that Harry Potter is way above Simon Snow. You cannot reference Harry Potter in a book in which Simon Snow is supposed to be the huge fangirl, crazy, like, fandom that everyone loves. It just wouldn't work. So that really bothered me. I mean, it was like a millisecond, like it was just one thrown line, but I was like, no, 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 this totally messes up your entire universe that you've just created here, this like alternate contemporary universe that exists. It just wouldn't work. And I feel like there's probably some other people out there who had the same thoughts. Let me know if you also thought that down in the comments below. This book has excerpts before each chapter from either the Simon Snow novels themselves or from the fan fiction that Kath and sometimes her sister Ren have written, and I honestly didn't think it was necessary to have it in there. Kath reads certain parts of her fan fiction in the actual chapters, so you get a taste of her writing style there, but the excerpts from the book, I thought maybe they would relate to what was happening in the chapter, but they really didn't. They just seemed sort of randomly placed there, and I honestly didn't think they were necessary. Additionally, the last written part of this book is fan fiction, and I really wish it had ended with our characters, either them talking or just, you know, describing what was happening. I really wish it hadn't ended on a fan fiction line. Lastly, there were 2 plot lines that I thought were left open. The first was with Kath and her mom. That, I don't know what happened with that. I want to know what happens with that. I need a little closure. And also the whole fanfiction story that Kath has been writing, we never figure out what happens with that. How does it end? That was just also left open. So I think maybe that's why I was a little upset with it just being left on a fanfiction line rather than saying like, Kath finished her story, or this is what happened with Kath and her mom. It just kind of ended. I was like, wait a minute, you have things that you need to settle here. I think what I'm trying to say for all of this is that I really, really enjoyed the book, so much so that I wanted to get really, really picky with all of the little things that bothered me, because I was like, this book could be so good if you just fix these few things. Therefore, my feelings about this book are just really, really intense, which I feel like this is coming across in the review, so sorry if it seems a little too much. Also, I think that wraps everything up that I needed to say. I know a lot of you have read Fangirl, and I know a lot of people really loved it. There are some people that didn't, so feel free to let me know why you didn't like it down below. But also let me know why you did like it, and while obviously trying to keep things spoiler free for those who have not had the chance to enjoy Fangirl yet. I ended up giving this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I felt like it was a very strong novel, but the few things that may seem kind of picky bothered me enough that I can't give it 5 stars. As always, all of our links are in the doobly-doo. Check those out if you feel so inclined. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.